This is teff growing in California for the first time.
Teff, a gluten-free grain high in iron and fiber. It's also the main ingredient that Zion Tadisi uses at her restaurant, Queen Sheba, Ethiopian food in Sacramento.
This is the injera that I was telling you about, all gluten-free, from all teff.
Teff is an African grain that Zion grew up eating in Ethiopia, but after migrating to Sacramento and starting her restaurant, she found that teff was difficult to buy in the U.S.
There is a high demand for teff, but there's no enough supply.
To remedy her supply problem, Zion enlisted the help of UC Davis to find a strain of teff that would grow in California.
To create the knowledge, the training, the technology from here and give it to the farmers.
UC Davis researchers had a successful crop last year, and now farmers William and John Gilbert are preparing to plant teff in their vacant walnut orchard in Wheatland.
The incentive is that the healthier the food, the more the people buy it.
Through Teff, Zion wants to make her community, Northern California, strong.
Our mission is really to feed the world. No child should be left behind when it comes to food and nutrition.
I'm John Bartel, and I want to hear about the NorCal Strong in your community.
I know that you're familiar with grains like wheat, corn, rice, and maybe even barley and quinoa. But what about teff? Teff is from Ethiopia, and though it is the world's smallest grain, it packs a prodigious punch. By the end of this video, you're going to know all about teff, how quick and easy it is to cook, and why this tiny but terrific grain deserves a spot in your kitchen. Let's get cooking. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt, and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook no matter your skill level. And yes, today we are talking about teff, and I am so excited to show you how to cook this. Like I was saying, teff really flies under the radar. Teff is from Ethiopia, and it is such an important grain there. It is now grown in other parts of the world, including here in America. Teff and Ethiopia go hand in hand. Now, as I was saying, teff is small, like really small. I mean, this stuff is, it's almost like, it's like a grain of sand. It is so small. And to give you an idea of just how small it is, I'm going to try to put this under a magnifying glass and just kind of show you this here. I mean, it is just so small. Now for another perspective, here is a grain of teff and a needle. You can see just how small this is. As far as where to buy this stuff, well, honestly, it might just be easiest to buy it online. I was able to find these on Amazon, but you also might be able to find it in stores. I went to a few different stores looking for teff. Now, another thing about teff is that it is a nutritional powerhouse. It is really rich in minerals like iron, and it is gluten-free and vegan. So if you are a vegan and you're trying to find a good plant-based source for iron, this is going to be a really good option for you. But it is just filled with nutrients. It's really, really good for you. And the stuff is super versatile. I mean, you can make this stuff sweet or savory. So that means, you know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can find an application where Teff will be just great. Now, before I show you actually how to cook Teff, let me kind of explain it. It's because it's really easy. Probably the easiest and most popular way of making Teff is just by simmering it just as you would with like rice or oats when you make oatmeal. But that's not the only way that you can cook Teff. I mean, it can be used in baked goods. You know, you can actually make a flour with it if you want to make bread, like the Ethiopian injera bread that's really popular. But get this, it's so versatile that it's actually used to make beer, and check this out, in building material. Yes, you know, actually using this in like walls and such to help reinforce buildings. Water is boiling, so let's take off the lid here. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And this is just going to help bring out that flavor just a little bit more. And then we are just going to pour in the Teff, just like this. 1 cup of Teff. And we're going to give it a good stir. Now all we have to do is reduce the heat. I'm going to turn it to about low to medium low. Put a lid on and let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, let's dig into this Teff, see how we did. Boy, this is just looking so hot and steamy. All right, we'll scoop this out. Now let me show you this. This, as you can see, is just beautiful. All those little grains, you know, they're kind of separate but together. And again, I just want to describe this as kind of like, I don't know, wet sand, or maybe like quinoa if you've ever made that. Okay, what does Teff taste like? Well, again, this is a very neutral way that we made it. It's very plain, but so it's earthy. It's got just like a little bit of crunch, but it's soft. And I think the flavor that it most resembles is like wheat bran. If you've ever had like wheat bran cereal, this tastes very much like that. It's just like super hearty. But the beautiful thing about this is that, you know, it is just like a culinary canvas. You can make this sweet, you can make this savory, you can make this a lot wetter. So like, for example, if you want to make more of like a porridge, you would use twice the amount of water. So 3 cups of water, but 1 cup of Teff. I made this morning that way and it was great. Boy, it is so different. And like, I love this food because it just like kind of makes you feel good eating it. I mean, it is so good and good for you. So there you go. That is the down low on Teff. I really hope you try this, especially if you're gluten-free like me, or again, maybe if you're a vegan and you're just kind of looking for something different, alternative grains. And heck, even if you're like a meat eater, I think you're really gonna like this because it just is so hearty and so delicious.